Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
If you're standing up, please take a seat. There's still some seats open if you want to rest your feet a little bit. Feel free to just come in. There's a couple of seats here. Feel free to have a seat if you like. So good morning, students and faculty and staff. Good morning, President Farahi. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here with us. I'd like to extend a special welcome to those who have felt a personal loss, either directly or indirectly as a result of the tragedy 18 years ago. So many of us have stories. Many of us may not speak them, but they become a part of the tapestry of who we are at this point. As we travel throughout our communities, we are reminded of the tragic loss of life on 9/11 through monuments and through memorials alike. These things are reminders of lives that have gone too soon. The images of that day have stuck with us, our collective memories. For some, a page in a history book. For others, it was real life unfolding. As a nation, we will perpetually honor those who persisted and perished on 9/11, but we must be mindful to do more than honor people through words. We must be willing to eradicate the manifestation of hate everywhere we find it, and as a fitting tribute to the sacrifices of so many that day. I'm very pleased to have Miss Nadia with us to bring us in with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. What will say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We have Ms. Mariama Roldan, who is our campus minister, who will be sharing some words with us.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for allowing me to speak with you today on this anniversary of 9/11. Today marks the 18th anniversary of September 11th. It happened on 2001, as we know, the attacks on the Twin Towers. And I feel that this anniversary is especially significant, as Mrs. Figueroa said, that some of us will be learning of this through textbooks from now on. Our freshman class were born on this year for the most part. So it's an interesting time in history where some of us are learning from this through word of mouth and through our textbooks, but some of us remember this viscerally in our body. I'm sure you can ask the staff and faculty here, and many of us still carry with us the grief. We grapple with the anger and question why this could happen to anyone, but especially so close to home. As we know, New York is so close. I find that in times of extreme distress and on anniversaries of such, it could be easy to overlook what happened or try to shy away from it, but it is important for us to remember the anniversary of this day and to feel the weight of what happened. to share with others our memories, and to grieve with our fellow Americans, and to pray for those who still experience the hurt and the loss that this event brought onto them. 9/11 will forever be a date that we will remember. A time of absolute horror, loss, tragedy, confusion, evil, and sadness, but also a time of great bravery, unity, togetherness, prayer, and heroism. So on this day, we must remind ourselves that the only true cure for hatred is kindness and genuine love for our neighbor. We must resolve to love our neighbor better, selflessly help those placed in our lives, and comfort those around us that are grieving in any way. So let us pray for healing and peace for our nation and for its people and for the whole world. Let us hope for the change of our hearts and for those who harbor hatred, and let us love and care for one another and follow the examples that were made by the heroes of 9/11 18 years ago today. Thank you. And now I'd like to welcome up the president of our university, Dr. Dawood Farahi, for some remarks.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming here to mourn the memory of over 3,000 people that got lost, and to celebrate the resilience of this country and the people of this nation. I remember vividly where I was that day. It was a beautiful like this. There was not a speck of clouds in the sky, and I was at City Hall in the city of Elizabeth. So somebody said, there's a big fire in one of the towers. And I said, okay. And he said, well, you can see it from the 4th floor on top of the City Hall. So we ran to the 4th floor and we saw the tower burning. We thought it was a great tragedy and an accident of some sort. The tragedy it was, the accident it wasn't. It's very difficult for those of you who may have been born the year when this occurred to visualize it. Or maybe you were toddlers and didn't even realize it had happened. Over 3,000 people from the metropolitan area got lost, and many of them were from New Jersey, and 2 of them were from Kean University. Richard Cadena, a graduate of Kean, and Robert Lane, a graduate of Kean who was a firefighter. Richard Cadena worked for Cantor Fitzgerald. His family established a scholarship here that some of you may benefit from it. And people that lost their lives were from all different cultures, all different ethnicities, and several of them were Muslims and Arabs who lost their lives at that tragedy. So it put an imprint on all of us, and especially on this nation. Those of you who are a little older know that you could get on a plane half an hour before the plane was supposed to depart. You just ran with your stuff and they stamped your ticket, you got on the plane. TSA is a byproduct of 9/11. And there was something else that happened. We lost our innocence, and we experienced something that Americans generally did, but for the whole world. It doesn't matter whether you go to Jamaica or you go to the Caribbean, you're subject to 2 hours of TSA searches because of what happened then. think about it for a minute and see what hate can do. Hate is the enemy of everything we stand for. It was driven by hate. And I hope if there is any lesson from 9/11, it be the lesson that you learn that hate expressed out here among your friends is as bad as hate expressed in the classroom, as bad as hate expressed on television, which is pretty common, or on radio stations. Hate is what creates these kind of things. And I hope you stand up to hate, and I hope you make your opinions known, and I hope you're proud to live in a country that not only recovered through unity and through love from that tragedy, but put up a beautiful building, the World Trade, the Freedom Tower that replaces the two Trade Center buildings. And if you have a chance to go to New York City and look at the 9/11 memorial, it will remind you of what happened. At Kean University, this is very important for you to keep in mind. We are one of the 5 most diverse universities in the country. We have people from 72 different nations, from 29 different counties in New Jersey, or 21 if you exclude 6 way up there. And we live with each other in peace and love. When you walk around Kean University, I hope you feel that you belong here. I hope you feel that at Kean University, it doesn't matter whether you're Muslim, Buddhist, Jewish, Christian, or religious that we haven't even heard, or your ethnicity of where you come from, including myself that comes from Afghanistan. This is the lesson that I hope you remember. You should never forget what happened at 9/11, but I hope you remember that love is much more powerful than hate. And hate is the most despicable form of human emotion. Don't pay attention to it. Don't tolerate it. And thank you very much for your time.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming to the Remembrance today. My name is Brianna Hernandez, and I am a Gold Leader on campus. I also work for the Center for Leadership and Service. Sue comes to me every year and she asks me to read, and I say yes with the absolute delight for the fact that my father is a police officer. He did not help within 9/11, but it's still something that we hold dearly to our hearts. So today I'm reading something called Remember. So here it is. I am so deeply moved to hear the individual stories of brothers and sisters, to learn about the lives of those who died here. For we all know that no matter how many fall, each life tells a unique story. Each death diminishes us all. The poet Christina Rossetti wrote this about remembering those we have loved and lost. Remember me when I am gone away, gone far away into the silent land, when you can no more hold me by the hand, nor a half turn to go yet turning stay. Remember me when no more day by day.
Media specialist with the Cougar's Byte, and I was asked by Sue to read a selection for you, and I said so happily, as I remember very vividly my experience with 9/11, and not just my own, but my mother's as a mental health therapist who worked in a hospital in Jersey City, who went to where the ferries travel between New York and New Jersey in order to do psychological triage for survivors. Unfortunately, when they got there, no one came, and that was her experience. So I would like to read you a poem called September 11th by Penny Kagan, and I'll follow up with one more after this. I could tell you what it was like to be there. The sky black with bodies, humanity colluding with gravity, people jumping in pairs, linked lives spent working together in towers so tall it must have felt like heaven to sit at a desk and watch the city transform with the light of the seasons. The moment sealed windows were liberated with office furniture, the moment of shattered glass, when doomed colleagues linked hands and decided to jump. The early fall air washed with the morning coolness, the escape from the rattling downtown, suffocating smoke, the heat. To be a witness to all of this, on the ground, not quite safe, but spared from all but the watching. Yes, I could tell you what it was like, but that would require the crafting of a narrative from the signed paper raining down like confetti, the sky blackened with terrorist graffiti, the towers stricken and then stricken again, their dark shadows erased from the sky, my clothes soaked with dust and ash, that gorgeous autumn day, the kind that makes late August bearable because of the promise of its crisp breath and light, the pure, sweet morning light of September 11th, the event that I could speak of if there was something to say. September was my favorite month. The sun suddenly different than it was the day before, somehow gentler and sunken in, its reflection elongated against the towers. Languorous August now in retreat, both the unease and the promise of longer nights. The new season upon us, with all that it brings, the residual memories from our school days, the purchase of new school supplies, the lure of a sharpened pencil, a notebook neatly divided into subjects, the fine lines of green graph paper, the anticipation of unopened textbooks, the comfort of a light woolen sweater slung low on the shoulders, slung low like the month itself, hope embedded in a porous rubber eraser. I'd like to read one more selection for those who had experienced a loss on the day of 9/11/2001. I give you this one thought to keep. I am with you still. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight ripened on grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not think of me as gone. I am with you still, in each new dawn. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marcus Everett. I'm a sophomore here at Kean University. I'm a silver leader within the Leadership Institute, and I am a community and volunteer service specialist for the Center for Leadership and Service. I will now recite a piece read by Mayor Bloomberg in a 9/11 commemoration in New York City. Today again, we are a city that mourns. We come here today to honor those we lost and to remember this date with sorrow, but we also remember with pride. And from that comes our resolve to go forward, our faces and hopes turned toward the light. In keeping with this, the children of our city and the children who lost loved ones will lead our ceremonies. It is in them that the spirit of New York lives, carrying both our deepest memories and the bright promise of tomorrow. Thank you.
We remember the fallen, their loved ones, all the heroes who served and protected that day, and many days afterward, because we forget that there was a lot that occurred after that particular day. We remember the World Trade Center, Flight 11, We remember Flight 175, Flight 77, Flight 93. We remember the Pentagon, and we remember over 400 firemen and police officer and emergency personnel lives that were lost that day. Each new year, we renew our devotion to each other. Let us remain vigilant with protecting and strengthening our communities, both our Kean community and our home communities. Let us remember that those who served on 9/11 and afterwards with acts of kindness and sacrifice, generosity, and integrity represent the best of us. In reverence for the lives that were lost that day, I ask that we all share in a brief moment of silence. I'd like to share with all of you, for those that want to directly save a life today, we're having a blood drive in the Myron Student Center, room 228. Blood products from this drive will be diverted to the victims of Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas. So if you are someone who is a blood donor and wants to donate today, or if this is your first time, I'll be more than happy to walk you upstairs and hold your hand while you take your arm prick. Students are encouraged to register for service events. We have a couple of things planned already for this week. We'll be going to Senior Citizen Facility tomorrow to help them there in Cranford. We'll be going on Sunday. We're having a service project to the food bank. We also are going to be assisting the New York Port Authority in their disaster preparedness. So we're going to be taking a bus of students to help them go through their simulations at Newark Airport so that they're better prepared, and we try to do this every year. So that's an opportunity for students that are interested. Please go onto Cougar Link and register for any of the events. At the end of the day, we're just encouraging everyone just to do good deeds today. That's what the day is about. And although that sounds simple, and a lot of times we say it simply, but that's how we change the world, one good deed at a time. It's the only way we've ever been able to. So there are people even here right now, people beside you, behind you, and they would benefit extremely from your kindness. So think about that when you're here, not just today, but all days. We have to truly remember that we have to take care of each other. It's the only way we're going to get through this world together. It's the only way we've ever known, is by pulling one up and over. It's the only way we all get through. So I want to thank all of you for coming out here and sharing this moment. I am looking for this lovely gentleman right here. If he would like to step up and just share a couple of words about what we're going to be doing next. He's my 9/11 pro. And if you can share a little bit about the history of...
This is a little bit unexpected. I'm not a typical speaker. I do remember 9/11 quite clearly. Shortly after 9/11 happened, Kean University, feeling the sorrow and pain, created a 9/11 memorial. And that 9/11 memorial is behind Townsend Hall and Technology Building. I'll be taking this flag, which was flown over the World Trade Center, over to the site and raising it on the flagpole over there just for today. One day a year, this flag comes out of the display case and is flown on the flagpole at the 9/11 memorial. So anyone who wishes to join me for that, I can also tell you the symbolism of the site as well. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. If anyone would like to go over to the memorial, we'll be taking a walk over. If anyone would like to donate blood, we can have some students walk over to the Myron